Did you have that there?
Just have to grab it around.
Hello? Oh my, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? You're recording right now? You just heard me. Listen to my voice. Oh. I was doing ASMR, alright? Oh, wait, 1 sec. Here we have a Pop-Tart. It's a strawberry Pop-Tart. Why do people do this?
So, today's episode, we're installing this 350Z subframe with a rack relocation kit. Our solid bushings clamp goes here. And we have our rack extensions that actually fit any Nissan chassis, any Toyota chassis, any Subaru BRZ chassis as well. This is a rack steering shaft extension. When you move the rack forward, the steering shaft no longer can reach the rack, so you need to add this extension. That'll go right here on the rack, like this. And then our column will be able to reach. So we're gonna take this. I could leave it there because I'm gonna be a while, but we're gonna take this over here where we have the car is stripped of its angle kit that it's had for 3 years. We've still got our version 1 offset rack spacers installed. Ran this for a long time. And we're gonna put on our new Mega Mantis kit, but first we're doing the rack relocation kit. So we're gonna just swap the subframes, which is a fairly simple process when you're talking about it, but you might run into some hiccups when you're doing it. So I need to undo the motor mounts, disconnect the steering rack, and undo the 4 bolts that hold it to the frame rails. It takes 20 seconds to say, it takes more than 20 minutes to do. Well, a lot more. So we're gonna see how fast that's gonna go, and then we'll let you know if there's any snags that we need to go over. But otherwise, it is a simple thing to do. And then we're gonna throw this in. It's gonna move the rack forward a bunch, just slightly more than the most offset position on our offset rack spacer. And this is going to improve a number of things, like increase the rigidity of the steering system by aligning all of the forces from the rack to the tie rod to the knuckle, which ultimately steers your wheels from the steering wheel. So making all of these connections extremely solid is really important for how the car is going to feel. I never really had an issue, but you never know how bad of an issue you have until you make it better, then you'll realize. So we're going to do that. You guys are going to watch. All right, so we're going to continue cranking on this car. It's pretty difficult to work in a shop where you've got like 10 other guys running all their machines, playing their music, doing their thing. See what I mean? But we've done all the tricky stuff. A lot of bolts were like kind of seized, so there's no point in showing you that. It was just, you got to take this bolt out and then it takes 10 minutes to take it out. But we've got the rack disconnected. We've got the steering shaft bolt taken out. Now the only thing to do is just drop the subframe. I've already taken the motor mounts off, and this subframe is just going to drop. I have a block with a stand that's going to hold the motor in place while the subframe disconnects, and that's going to hold the motor where it needs to be so that I can just throw in the new subframe and then reconnect all of the bolts that we took off. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty easy swap once we get all these off. Good thing we got a big unit from Snap-on, or else that would have been kind of hard. The only reason I couldn't use it in other spots is because it is just so big, but it's like 1,200 foot-pounds of torque or something. Absolutely rips. And then it's got three mode adjuster, so if you want to put your wheel lugs on with it, you can just put it in mode 1 or torque 1. But we have it in 3 because these are all pretty seized. off. Man. Get out of me way. Get out of me car.
Get out of my car!
What's gonna happen? Is this gonna just drop? Oh, yep, it is. Did the, what's going on here? The motor is held up, it looks like. So strong, I don't even need a pull. Okay, yeah, so we're pretty much free. I'm gonna do this one by hand so I don't, might need a hand. It's gonna be either a pull away and let it fall, or
Nah, we can do that.
I need someone to just carry the subframe. So it should be fully disconnected. Ready?
Yeah.
Just wait.
Lines. Careful, line connected up top right here. There's 2 bolts right here up top.
Ah,
Yeah,
power
lines.
steering lines.
Yeah, so I'll just hold it. Just go get that.
M10.
You're good. Something like that.
Oh, it's the only one I'm missing. All right, note to self. You can probably just let it,
Hang a bit.
yeah, because it'll just rest against the studs.
Just hold it up.
Yeah.
I'll push that way so it stays on the stud.
Should be good. Piece of junk. Send her over to the modification department where she's gonna get remodified. All right.
Yeah, we have a 6-incher.
Yeah, I don't take much.
See? Somebody left their big hammer. I have a small hammer. Yeah.
So that didn't take much effort. Take this one off. This is the reason for your over-centering and deflection. Get out of here. New bushings. I think the fit's pretty. Just get everything a little lubricant. Let's throw this unit back up. I'm not strong enough. Need more? Do this side, do this side. I don't know how people bend these. I've had the same bolt for years.
Well, the key is keeping it tight.
Yeah. And these are the OG offset rack spacers. Yeah.
Really is. Messing around.
Still good.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
Why are you taking them off?
because I don't need offset spacers anymore.
I'm just.
Right. This is the key. The TSN turning point.
TSN turning point.
I go to put the rack in, it does not reach. This is what I was going to emphasize doing this. It does not reach. That's because we need to install our steering rack extension, which is this cute little thing. Okay, so we need to disconnect the shaft from the rack, install this, put the rack on, then this will slide right in place. Let's do that. This thing needs to go. It's not doing anything anyways. Get this out of here. It's tight. Cool. Looks like a great location for a rack. Rack relocation. All right, we got to put the clamp on the other side and then tighten that side down. Got to put the extension on. So we had a little bit of a hiccup. The slider joint on the steering shaft was seized. So we couldn't get our adapter in because we needed to slide it back, put our adapter on, then slide it back together. So we actually just dropped the subframe about an inch. Put our adapter on, made sure the steering wheel was straight, we centered the rack, and then we put it all back together and it went really smooth actually. That was pretty easy. So now we just got to tighten up everything and continue on. We don't need that anymore. Now we just need to grab our clamp, hook it in there, tighten that up. That is complete. Sick. Probably just zip tie these lines so that they don't move around too much. Motor mounts. And this subframe swap is complete. And that's it. The subframe relocation is done. We had a spare subframe. We did it on the subframe away from the car and then we just swapped them. We powder coated it in-house, nice royal purple color, solid subframe bushings installed. The clamp here on the side is also a solid bushing. We forgot to powder coat it, but that's not a big deal. And everything's back in place. We've got our steering rack extension in. Everything there is tight. We centered the steering wheel and we measured the rack with a tape measure and centered the steering rack, so we know that everything is concentric. The next step is to throw on our new updated kit. After running our original one for about 3 years, served us well. It's still sitting there on the ground. Ready to go. We'll probably sell it used to somebody locally that wants a kit or something. We'll replace the Heim joints because they were pretty much due. And yeah, so we'll see you guys on the next episode where we do the install on our updated kit and show you all of the improvements, benefits, and so on and so forth. Things that we've learned over the years and have applied to our new products. So thank you for watching again. I got everybody in the shop.